So you're very welcome to today's session for the Lunch and Learn of Republic of Work. So it's held every Tuesday at 1 p.m. in a webinar format. So there are a variety of topics related to business in general that can be discussed during this session. And you can find the upcoming events on the What's On section of the Republic of Work website. So I invite you all to take a moment after this session and to have a look at the upcoming events regarding this. And also, I want to let you know about an event happening tomorrow evening at 6:30 p.m. It's the flagship program of Republic of Work, and it's happening on Zoom. So the focus will be on reopening your business post-COVID, and it will include a panel of marketing and PR experts to discuss the correct messaging, the design, and the process of reopening a business following partial lockdown. So it's really interesting. I think I will personally attend this too. And tickets can be booked on the Republic of Work website. Okay, so I just wanted to start off with these two information. The Lunch and Learn sessions every Tuesday at 1 p.m. and tomorrow, flagship event built in Cork at 6:30 p.m. Okay, so how many are we now? 22 people. I think we can start, right? So first of all, I just want to say thank you again for JCI Cork and Republic of Work for this opportunity. It's very new for me. It's my first webinar in a way. I had last month the opportunity again with JCI to host a training about LinkedIn, which was a great experience, of course, you know, to share a few tips on how to use LinkedIn effectively for job search. Okay, Deirdre. Yeah, maybe you can try to adjust if it's okay for Gosha and Melanie. Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you. So it's my second, let's say, to be totally transparent, it's my second experience with a webinar today, but the first where I'm gonna talk about myself. So it's another type of challenge. I'm gonna be sharing about my story as a career coach, how I went from a frustrated, bored out job hopper. I'm here in Ireland for 6 years. I've had 6 jobs. My CV is really completely messed up, right? But how I went from this state to now having my own career coaching business and helping other multilingual people find a job that they love. So let's start with the topics that will be covered today. So they were the initial topics, of course, and I'll be talking about all of this. So how you can steer your passion into a new career, how volunteering can increase your career prospects and develop your network, how volunteering can help you live and breathe your core values, how saying yes to new opportunities can literally change your life, and how you can build self-confidence through volunteering. So these are the topics that will be covered, and the format that I chose to speak about that will be basically to tell you my story. And I think, hopefully, I'll be covering all of this in the flow of the conversation. But I really want to know, I'm really curious to know, to start off, what made you sign up for this webinar? What is the topic that, I don't know, made you register your ticket? Are you here because you're curious about the volunteering aspect of it? In that case, I would love you if you could just type a V in the chat box so that I know that you came here because you want to know more about volunteering. If it's more the career aspect of it, so how to turn your passion and make it your career, I would like you to type C in the chat box, just to get an idea of why you came here. And lastly, if you came here because you're a friend of mine and you want to support me, you can type an F for Fatou. I see Anna here. Thank you, Anna. So nice to see you. So yeah, it'd be interesting to know the reason. Wow, I see many, many things. VC, cool. VCF, thank you, Gosha. Mimi, so nice, so nice. Okay. Thank you, Anuj. I'm hoping this one will be too inspiring, hopefully. So I usually start my presentations with this picture. This picture is really, really meaningful, and I really believe that it sums up. I mean, there's a lot behind this picture that I'm going to share with you now, but it sums up why I can honestly say that JCI Cork changed my life. So this picture was taken in January 2018, in the last day of January, actually. And it was a goal setting workshop that I saw accidentally on Eventbrite, a free event hosted by JCI Cork in, it's not Republic of Work, it's Bank of Ireland Workbench on Patrick Street. So I went there. These two ladies here on the picture are my friends. I just told them there seems to be a good, interesting event here in Cork. And the title of the event was Make 2018 Count. And it was facilitated by a career coach called Gillian McGrath. So I went there, of course, hopeful, because it was tricky, I would say, complicated stage of my personal and professional experience, I'd say. So I went there thinking, okay, maybe this is great to start the year with a proper goal, you know, just to know where my career is going. So on this picture here, just to give you a bit of context and background, I had just left a job where I stayed 3 months, but that had a serious effect on me. That impacted me very, very negatively. I felt really, really bored in that job, very frustrated, very unfulfilled, basically. I stayed 3 months, but it was maybe the hardest 3 months of my professional life. And it was just a few weeks before I actually quit that job. And I think I started my new role a week before that. So, you know, everything was still brand new. I knew that my new role was not my dream job, but I really needed to preserve my mental health, my energy, and go to an okay job. And I guess this is my first advice that I want to share today. At that time, I really felt that, yeah, it's really bad. It will reflect badly on my CV if I leave a job after 3 months. So I tried, you know, to push it and to try the positivity. I remember I was listening to motivational videos every morning to give me the strength to go to work. I was at that stage where I needed any pep talk to keep going. So yeah, it's good that you keep the comments coming, guys. So I will keep an eye on the chat. Just, you know, hopefully there'll be a time for questions and reactions later at the end of it. But please do post your experience. So yeah, so the first advice I wanted to share with you is that there is no acceptable period of time that you should stay in a job that is damaging to your mental or physical health. No, it doesn't. We don't care about how your CV will look like, what other people may think. You are a priority. So if it's not right for you, if you're not sure why exactly it's not in alignment for you, but there's definitely something wrong, it's totally okay to leave a job even after the first week, I'd say. Honestly, I'll go as far as that. So this is where I was. I was in this phase where I knew I couldn't continue moving from one job to another without, you know, without any clear goal. I went to this workshop with my friends, and the coach asked us to write, I think she said, or maybe this is how I interpreted it anyway, a crazy big goal on paper. Something that would make us uncomfortable and that would challenge us, you know, really a big goal. Okay, so, and she explained the benefits of writing a goal down. I remember she mentioned about a study that says that if you write something down, you have 46% more chances to follow through with it. So that's why she was inviting us to write our goal down and then to discuss within our group if we were comfortable, or even to share this big goal with the whole workshop, which I was definitely not comfortable for that at that time. But I was able to write for the first time my goal that I didn't even know I had. It was, you know, just took a moment to think about something that would be meaningful for me. And I wrote to start my career coaching business, helping frustrated and bored out multilingual professionals to find a job they love in Ireland. So basically, my business was about helping someone like me. To be totally honest with you, it was a selfish, a selfish way to start the business, but this was the biggest mission I had at that time, to absolutely do something for all the other people in my situation who left home, their friends, their family, who adapt to a new culture and to realize that they're not happy in what they're doing. So that day, 31st January 2018, I wrote this goal on paper. And it was a free event from JCI. I was not expecting that much, to be honest with you. But from the moment I wrote that goal down, I couldn't pretend anymore that I didn't know what I wanted to do. Once you write something, and I really believe in the power of writing things down, you can't pretend that you don't know. Sometimes, I speak personally, I found it that I was like, oh, I don't know what is my passion. I don't know what is my mission. Because once you admit that you know, well, it's scary. It's scary because then you have no excuse not to go for it. So definitely, this was, yeah, life-changing for me to write it. I couldn't, you know, bury my head into the sand and pretend that I didn't know. That day I said that I wanted to be a career coach, and it must have come from somewhere, right? It must have come from somewhere way back. And now I'm curious to know, because I want also to have your opinion on this. If you're comfortable, of course, sharing in the chat. What was your dream job when you were a child? What did you want to do when you were, I don't know, in primary school or middle school or high school? What was your dream job? Sorry. Let's see if I see the chat box, hopefully. Ah, I can't see the chat box. What happened? Sorry. Oh yeah, maybe it's somewhere here. So does someone want to share? An engineer, Aileen, okay. Psychologist, actress, interesting, wow. Study quantum physics, scientist. Great. Well, a vet, a dancer, novel writer, teacher. I really love to ask this question because I think it's so meaningful for the rest of our career, just to connect back to what we wanted to do when we were a child. For me, it was doctor. I mean, when I was, from 5 to 11, I guess, I wanted to become a doctor because in my mind, it was the most helpful job in the world. So basically, back then, I didn't know that I couldn't stand to see blood, right? So I was really, really naive, and I just wanted to help the world. And for me, the doctor was the most obvious job for that. And then, of course, you know, you grow up and you realize that, yeah, you can't stand blood, so the doctor is not an option, that you don't really like physics neither. So I moved to another dream job, and it was physical therapist, which is really strange, but it stuck with me for all my middle school years. So I'm going back to this picture. So why did I want to become a physical therapist? in 1999, something happened in my family. So basically my mother had a stroke and she had to relearn how to walk. And the person that came every day to help her educate and be able to walk again was a physical therapist. And it was my new thing. I wanted to become that man who helps my mother to walk again, basically. So it stuck with me. One day I shared this career goal in class. I was 14 and my art teacher, so just to give you a bit of context, my art teacher was the principal teacher. So basically she was also our advisor. She told me in front of the whole class that I didn't have the body type to be a physical therapist, body shape. I don't even know now what she meant exactly. I'm exactly the same as I was when I was 14. Nothing has changed. I'm short, chubby, but there's nothing, I mean, anyway, it stuck with me. I decided, you know, at that stage, of course, now I've done a lot of personal development work, but I kind of believed authorities and what people were telling me. So I didn't even took it badly. I thought she was giving me a good advice at that time. And I just gave up on the physical therapy thing. And I moved to another useful job that was social worker. So for whole my high school, my dream was to become a social worker. I wanted to help people find jobs. I wanted to help people get money. Basically, yeah, it was the safest option. And again, at 17, someone very close to me told me that I was too shy and too introverted to be actually talking to people face to face and helping them. And at that time, it was totally true. I was very, very introverted. I'm still, of course, I'm still introverted, but at that time it was quite, I thought, you know, I didn't have the growth mindset that I have now. And I really thought that it would be a challenge for me to help people if I have to talk to them and to be comfortable around them. And I just decided to go for something that I was good at, which was languages. I was good at, I kind of liked also, of course, learning foreign languages. So I continued with a path as a translator, basically 5 years of traveling around, studying around, becoming a translator. And I cannot say I didn't enjoy it, of course. It was, I think, I couldn't have done a master's in anything else because it was really, really what kept me going was the fact that I liked it. But from the beginning, I knew that my willingness to, you know, this idea to be totally useful in the world, I wouldn't feel it in this job. And I'm not saying it's not a useful job. It's just that internally, I felt that there was something missing there. Just to give you a bit of background into how I became a freelance translator at 22. So I went to Ireland a few years after that. After a traineeship in Luxembourg, I had the opportunity, amazing opportunity to do a traineeship in the European Parliament in Luxembourg, to meet people from all over Europe. So I became obsessed after this traineeship with this idea of multiculturality and learning from other cultures. And that's what led me to Ireland. Not for the job that I was offered when I came here, I was not passionate about. I was curious about, maybe I was intrigued, but you know, I just accepted the job to have the opportunity to experience the expat life in Ireland. And yeah, I at that time, just to go back to the picture, I was in my fourth job actually. I just had started my fourth job, going from one job to another, still knowing that it was not my dream job. I really needed to make a change. So what happened is that I decided to join JCI. Honestly, I'm not sure I signed up exactly on the day, but it became clear in my mind that if I want to build my self-confidence, to grow professionally, personally, to be a bit better at networking. I think at this event, I only spoke to my friends and 2 people because I was really not good at this, feeling very awkward just to introduce myself and to say hello. I knew that JCI could help me become more comfortable with that. And especially now that I knew that I wanted to become a career coach, I knew that I couldn't just hide, right? And expect people to come to me for my services. I needed to show up, I needed to be able to present, etc. So yeah, it is the best decision I've made so far, one of the best I've made, honestly, to join JCI. So I want to move to the next picture, hopefully. Cool. So this picture is from a flagship JCI event, the TYP, the 10 Outstanding Young People. It was in March 2019. So I was a JCI member for less than a year. And I got this opportunity because, again, I believe that your career path is really linked to the opportunities that will present themselves and that you would say yes to, you know, that you would grab. I got this opportunity to be the MC of this event. Very, very prestigious event. It is in South Mall in the AIB Bank. It was the scariest yes I've ever said, to be totally honest with you, feeling totally uncomfortable during the whole thing. I had a few friends again in the public, very supportive friends. I had the JCI leaders, the national president, the local president, all cheering for me. So of course it gave me the confidence to keep doing it, but I cannot say I enjoyed the moment itself, right? It was just to go outside my comfort zone, to challenge myself, to grow. And yeah, the fun aspect was not there yet, to be totally honest with you. Even though I'm really amazed by the photographer, he managed to take this picture that looks, I mean, when I see it, I feel that I looked confident and happy and, you know, no, I was not. I can tell you, I was not. This is an amazing picture that is not a reflection of what I was feeling inside. But again, this gave me the confidence to keep doing more things, to keep showing up. So I want to move to another picture. That's also very meaningful for me. So you can see, like I said at the beginning, the first picture that I showed you, I basically start all my speeches or presentations with it, when it's not LinkedIn related, of course, because it's the beginning of my story. So this picture was taken on the 26th of July, 2019, exactly in the same place where the original picture was taken. So we are again in Workbench, Bank of Ireland. And yeah, this is the launch event of my business, Top of the Pile. A few months after I wrote that down on paper, it became reality that day. So I didn't count exactly, but it's a year and yeah, 6 months, 18 months later. And I spare you all the struggles within these 18 months, but and I was explaining how this story started, how I managed from, you know, writing something down to actually make it happen that day, thanks to the JCI and the skills, the opportunities that they gave me. I think it's still, if we have, I'm gonna keep an eye on the time, okay. Yeah, someone is saying something, no. Feel free to write your comments or questions if you have already. So I just want to say something about this. So 18 months later, the business was launched, right? I'm still in the early stages of my business. It's less than a year. I'm still growing. I'm still challenging myself. Just this presentation today is one of the many development opportunities I had the chance to have with JCI. But to be totally honest with you, I was stuck for 8 months during this process. So there was 10 months of really making progress and step by step getting a HR certification. I felt that, okay, if I want to be a career coach, I need to start with something. It was scary at that time to imagine myself going through a whole coaching certification, which I finally did twice in French and in English. But my first step was to enroll in an HR class in Cork College of Commerce for 7 months or 8 months, and to start with that, and to rewrite CVs for all my colleagues and friends for free. I did that for a year. It was great experience, great feedback. Yeah, so I started with that, but I was stuck for 8 months with this big dream on paper, to be totally honest with you. I didn't know where to start. It was so big. It was so big that, yeah, I applied to work with a coach at some point. It was maybe in April. So 3 months after I wrote that goal, I applied to work with the only coach that I was following for years and years on YouTube, a Canadian coach, well-renowned. I felt, okay, if I need to give it a go, I want to work with this woman. So I applied, because to work with her one-on-one, we needed to apply. We had to answer 3 questions about why we want to work with her, what we want to achieve, etc. It was the longest email I've ever written up to that date, probably. I told her all my life, all the things that I'm sharing with you, basically in more details. I was writing that down because I really needed help. And she came back to me by email the next day saying, oh, I feel all your passion. And of course, I want to work with you. My assistant will contact you for the pricing. I didn't even ask, wonder how much would it cost to work with this woman who has 100K followers on YouTube. I didn't really know. And then the next day, the assistant sent me the price. And I realized that, okay, this is, again, the scariest investment probably. I mean, it's the first investment on yourself and on your dream is probably scary as hell. I started to panic because I knew that I felt that she was the solution to my issue. It's been already 3 months that I had this career coaching dream in mind, doing nothing because I just didn't know where to start. But I just didn't have the money at that time. Or maybe I had the money somewhere buried, but not the confidence to release it, basically, and to say, okay, let's give it a try. So I asked around. Something else also that I wanted to tell you is to avoid, if you can, as much as you can, asking around people for their opinion on something that is really, really meaningful for you. Because it's tough, the way I say it maybe, but nothing cares as much as you do about your own dreams and goals. So even if you're thinking well and meaning well, I think my friends and family were protecting my savings when they told me not to invest that amount of money with this coach. I really felt that they were meaning well, you know, not trying to sabotage my success or anything like that. But I listened to them. So I remember writing this email a few days later to that coach, telling her that I can't. Financially, this was the only reason. Financially, and maybe a bit of mindset too, I was not ready, basically, to invest that amount of money to work with her, etc. The story, I'm trying to keep it short, but what happened is at the end of the year, I think it was October 2018, this woman, this coach, sent an email to a whole mailing list saying that she will stop doing one-on-one coaching from 2019. So basically, if we wanted to work with her for 3 months, one-on-one, it was the last opportunity ever, because she will focus on other projects. One of them was launching her own coaching school. So the first step that I took when I saw this email is that I enrolled in my first coaching certification with her. So I became one of her students. It was an online course mostly, with a weekend of certification the year after. And I also reapplied to work with her because I exactly knew the price was, I mean, in my mind, the price was the same, but the pain of not having made any progress in October was way stronger than it was in April for me. So I said, okay, I know the price now. I know what other people around me think about this decision, and I will listen to myself. And I sent her this email again, Probably it was even a bit longer because I had to explain how my thinking around the thing. And yeah, she said, yes, okay, I take you as my last one-on-one student. My assistant will contact you. I was full on. The assistant sent me the email about the price, and the price had increased by $1,000 US. Yeah, crazy. I found the money. Just to keep it really short, I found the money. It was super scary, but I found the money. And the 3 months that I worked with her, I managed to do so many things. The professional pictures, the business name registered, the clarification of my message of who I want to help, the social media, the logo, everything, every little thing, every big things, everything got clarity within 3 months of working with her. And the craziest part is that she didn't tell me you should start with this, right? She was asking me the questions and I was just providing myself the answers that I was unable to get myself just by, you know. And this is what I love the most about coaching is you really need someone to help you really solve the answers you have within yourself. And this is really what happened. Crazy, again, when I think about this. So this is to move on now to what I wanted to tell you next. Another great opportunity I had with JCI after the launch event, it was October last year. It's an opportunity to speak during the national convention in County Mayo. So yeah, again, unbelievable that I would be on a lineup to become an inspirational speaker for a day. It was just amazing. And this is what JCI can do for you: challenge you, support you, give you the confidence to actually say yes to opportunities like that. I think I remember Aileen asking me if I wanted to take part of this, but she asked me before my launch event. So my big stress at that time was, how will I manage to actually launch my business and talk to people? So I remember telling her, and I don't know if Aileen, you remember, I remember, please ask me again after I survive my launch event, maybe the day after. And if I survive this, maybe I'll say yes to that. And this is what happened. I realized that I didn't die, so maybe I could do it again. And Dana, who is here today, can testify how stressed I was before my 15 minutes on the stage talking about my story. But it was, again, a great, great boost for the confidence. So now I just want you to give you a few things that helped me. So for a career to be fulfilling, this is what I realized, right? With all my readings, my podcasting, the podcast that I'm listening, the books that I'm reading, the coach that I've hired. And yeah, all of this led me to identify what needs to be for a career to be fulfilling. And I would say those 6 points are what needs to happen. So it needs your job, basically, your job or your business, whatever it is, needs to stimulate and challenge you. This is how I turned into bored out when I was in a job that was absolutely not challenging for me. It's a must be. It needs to satisfy your basic needs, which are, for example, recognition and enough money to live on, definitely. The translation part, I skipped that. I kind of liked, I mean, it could have been fulfilling, but definitely not enough money to live on. And maybe I was not feeling like I was contributing to the world around me as much as I wanted to feel that. So for a career to be fulfilling, it needs to be aligned with your values, the third point. And I thought I knew my values. I mean, I thought I knew that. I didn't really investigate too much about this. If someone were asking me about my values, I would say family, honesty, and growth, I think. I always said that, or respect, or freedom. Anyway, I had a vague idea of my values, and there was always family and honesty into that. Lately, I've been working with a coach one-on-one, and basically I keep working with coaches all the time to grow and to challenge myself and to become a better coach. And we worked so deep on my values that I came up with 5 values that are mine, that were always mine, I think, that I just couldn't put a name on it. So I've identified open-mindedness as one of my values. And of course, it encompasses respect. It can encompasses so many other values. I identified growth, that was always there. I always feel, even when I was a child, that I always wanted to grow and better myself. So it was always there. Of course, with the business aspect of it, I really feel that starting a business is maybe one of the most self-growth journey you will ever embark on, because it covers, really challenges you in so many ways that, yeah. So my values were open-mindedness, empathy, resilience, growth, and belonging. And this is where the family were coming from. Basically, I need to feel that I belong to a group, whether it's my family, whether it's my friends. I attach a lot of importance to friendships. And this is linked to my belonging core value. So I really believe that for career to be fulfilling, it needs to be aligned with your values one way or another. Otherwise, it will really cause you to be miserable, and you will not always identify why, because the salary is good, the colleagues are nice, the tasks are okay, but there might be something wrong with the industry you're in, maybe. It could be that. It really could be that. So 4th point, a career needs to be fulfilling. A career needs to make you feel like you are contributing to the world around you. And this, again, it's very, very personal. Not judging anyone's career path, saying one is more useful than the other. But for me, definitely coaching is what makes me keep going after, you know, all these challenges and obstacles, and to push through it, because I feel that I'm contributing to the world around me by coaching people to be happier in their job. It needs to be something you enjoy, of course. Always keep this in mind. It doesn't have to be a struggle all the time. And it needs to be something you're reasonably good at, with the potential to get better. I really believe it's important to already feel confident that you can do the job, but there's also a lot of power in the growth opportunities within the job. So I was going to write you something about the benefits of volunteering, or yeah, exactly the same. And then I realized that I was basically just repeating myself, that all of this, except one little thing, can totally be applied to the benefits of volunteering. I mean, I joined JCI because I wanted to stimulate and challenge myself. It satisfied my basic needs, which recognition. The only part that maybe doesn't apply to volunteering would be the money thing, because we do it totally for free. But again, when you decide that you want to join an organization, you want to volunteer with them, it needs to be aligned with your values in a way or another. It definitely makes you feel that you are contributing to the world around you. Something you enjoy. I mean, all of these steps basically, except the money, is the same. It's my own realization anyway, that the volunteering can bring you all these benefits too. Okay, do you have any questions or comments? Gosha agrees. Thank you, Gosha. Gosha is my colleague. Yeah, I forgot to tell you this at the beginning, but I have a part-time job in the Cork Volunteer Center for 2.5 months now. So it's crazy, because again, I'm sure the whole point of the job was to, you know, to be familiar with the volunteering sector in Cork, or in general. And I have at least 2 years of experience, and I got these 2 years of experience in the voluntary sector thanks to JCI. So there's no way I would have been employed in this job if I didn't have all this experience with JCI. So thanks, Gosha, for agreeing with me, and thank you for saying that I'm good at my new job. I really, really appreciate it. That's so nice. So now I want to give you really practical tips. I think I shared a few with you already, but I just want to go through this list quickly. And if you have comments or questions, let me know. Okay, so trust your gut and reconnect with your inner child. So basically here it's a quick 10 tips for career. There's more than this, definitely, but this is what I wanted to share with you today. Trust your gut and reconnect with your inner child. Why I say this? It's because I told you I wanted to become a doctor, then a physical therapist, then a social worker, and I moved to translation because basically I didn't have to talk to anyone. And I thought that Jci was something that would stick with me forever, and you know. But now that I think back, my whole childhood and teenage years, I spent my most favorite hobbies was to read self-help books. I just didn't know they were called self-help books back then. I was just attracted to these topics: how to be more assertive, how to gain more confidence, how to communicate better. So this is something that I've always done. And then I met this coach on YouTube and I was obsessed with all of videos. That's why actually I worked with her. It was always there. I just didn't feel that it was something that I could even, you know, touch from my place where I was. I had so many obstacles to overcome before getting there. But definitely it didn't come from nowhere. The CV stuff, even, it's something that I've always enjoyed doing. It's very, I didn't even know that some people didn't like to do their CVs, honestly. It was so natural to me to redo my CV all the time well, anyway, just to tell you that trust your gut, reconnect with your inner child. Also, when we talk about passion and purpose, sometimes we may feel the pressure. What is my passion? What is my purpose? It seems to be heavy. You may feel that it's heavy to find it. And I want just to say that your passion or your purpose starts with identifying what energizes you and to do more of that. That's simple as that. It's not an epiphany, that divine revelation of something that will tell you this is your passion, this is what you should pursue. Say, what are you already doing that energizes you, that stimulates you, that makes you feel better, and just do more of that. Try new things and don't expect to start off great. This is what I'm doing here. I think it's my second, like I said, webinar, maybe my 6th public speaking presentation. It's better, definitely, but I keep doing this because this is the only way that I will reach the level that I want to reach at some point, right? So it's totally okay. And I think volunteering is a great platform for trying new things. To also clarify, it's the 4th point, put your passion into action with volunteering. I don't think it makes sense to say I have a passion in something if you don't take any action to actually test it and make sure that you would do whatever you need to do to turn it into a career. It could have been really easy for me to write, I want to be a career coach, without, you know, thinking of all the other skills that I needed to have to develop this. JCI allowed me to put this into action with the emceeing of this event, with the networking opportunities, with the leadership trainings as well. So many things. I even had experience in debating. Where else in the world could I get some training in debating except JCI? This is definitely not my passion, the debating, but it's a way to try and test and see what works for you, basically. Be curious. Last point, 5th point, surround yourself with supportive and like-minded people. JCI covers this absolutely. Like I said, I tend to say yes to them because I know they'll be here to support me. Just to know that it's a safe environment to learn and to grow. It's really, really important. And they're all positive. It's amazing how positive this community is. Sixth point is to identify your strengths and to play to them, of course, and to recognize your weaknesses and improve them. So I mentioned that I went from very, very shy to still shy, I guess, or introverted, but at least I'm doing some efforts to improve that. So I took a public speaking course in Cork College of Commerce for 8 weeks. I took a Start Your Business course. I mean, I'm trying to identify where I need to fill the gaps and get better at what I'm doing. And it's so important to do that. Volunteering, again, if you pick the right role, organizations for you, align with your values. This is the next point. It will definitely help you to progress very, very quickly in something new. Become crystal clear on your values and think about your legacy. I don't know why I added think about your legacy, but I'm sure there's a reason why. Be crystal clear on your values. So take the time to think clearly of what is meaningful for you. And like I said, I thought for a long time, family, and they are important for me, but go deeper. And maybe a coach can help you investigate this, because sometimes it's not easy to go that deep and to understand exactly why my family is so important to me. You think it's obvious, but there's maybe a value that's bigger than this, where family and friendship or other things are attached to it. And think about your legacy. I think what I meant by that is think about when you'll be, let's say, retiring, right? Will you be happy with the choices that you make, the duties? Would you be proud of your path? Would you regret maybe staying too long in a job? So I think this is what I meant by that, but good tip anyway. Have a roadmap or plan of action. So this is where I was stuck for 8 months alone, trying to figure out by myself how to do the thing to start the career coaching business. Again, a coach can definitely help you with that. You have no reason to feel that you need to struggle alone. When in 3 months, in my case, I was able to start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's very, very important to take it step by step, okay? Because sometimes the dream is too big, the goal is too big, and you want to make it manageable in size. Embrace change and be ready to say yes to an opportunity when it presents itself. I think it's one of the biggest tip I can give you. Again, I said yes to this opportunity back in February. I was so scared, but I knew it was a good one. So I said, yeah, I'll have 4 months or so to prepare for that. And you're never ready. Just before this call started, I was regretting saying yes to this. To be honest with you, you never feel ready. You just have to do it, and yeah, recognize the good opportunities also. I think it's better to. What I do is I identify. Sometimes you need to trust your gut and say no. I'm not saying to say yes to every opportunity, right? But when you realize that's only fear that's holding you back, this is how I know that maybe it's a good opportunity. I'm just afraid, so I'll say yes anyway. You know, the do it afraid, do it scared, but do it anyway. This would be my other tip for this. And remember to keep it fun. All right, so yeah, it's not supposed career. Your job, for example, leaving for the weekends, dreading Mondays, it's not supposed to be normal. I don't know for you, but I am hearing that a lot. Yeah, it's Monday, it's supposed to be a bad day. Thank God for the weekends. I have a bit of, and sometimes I say it myself, right? Even though I really love what I'm doing now. It's just a habit that we consider that a career needs to be difficult or hard or challenging. But it doesn't have to be. So always keep that in mind, that if it's something that you experience too many Sunday nights, for example, this fear, there's something wrong there. So these were my tips for today. I think I have a patchwork of pictures that opportunities from JCI again. Will not comment everything, but a lot of opportunities. Last year, I was director of membership of JCI Cork, which meant that I had to have one-on-one discussions with people. It was great to start, you know, taking this coaching thing very seriously, to learn how to have a conversation with someone, the small talk, the things. So it was a great opportunity. I attended the leadership training with Melanie, JCI Cork president. It was in County Wicklow for 3 days. We got our certificates. It was a great experience, a lot of team building with other JCI members from other branches in Ireland. I participated in World Cleanup Day last year and the year before. Two colleagues of mine from work joined us there. They were not members of JCI, but they felt called to participate into that. The first picture on the left is an opportunity I had to be a judge in a panel of young innovators. So basically to give money to school children and their project, which was amazing. To have this opportunity to, you know, to do something like this. The picture below around the table is the first JCI Island event I attended. I was a member of JCI Cork for 3 weeks, I think. And I went up to Malahide with Aileen, who was Cork president at that time. And yeah, I met the national president sitting next to me. I met other people from other branches. I felt totally out, like big imposter syndrome. I barely knew exactly what JCI was all about. But I was really happy to, you know, to be there and to get to know people. And the last picture on the left, bottom left, it's my first national convention participation. It was in Galway in 2018. And again, during the weekend, I shared publicly in a room full of people that I wanted to do my career coaching thing. It was the first time that I said it publicly. Of course, I had conversation at lunch with some people who were in that room, and I got my first paid client from this opportunity. So see how big things can happen if you just show up. And yeah, JCI, like I said, is a great place for that. So I think this is the part where you're supposed to ask me questions. It's a picture taken from my CV writing workshop in Cork in February. So if you have any questions, comments, oops, hopefully we have 5 minutes left. So please feel free. If not, that's fine, but don't hesitate. Oh, thank you, thank you. Okay. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you, Gosha. Really appreciate. Thanks. Yeah, the journey, Aileen, crazy. Thank you so much, Anna. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, everyone, really, for your nice comment. I want, before we leave, I want to talk to you about, oh my God. Yeah, I spoke a lot about JCI. It was like, but it comes from the heart, honestly. Paul raised hand. Okay, how can I unmute you, Paul? Paul, I unmute you. You want to say something? Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
That was really inspiring.
Thanks.
What is the JCI? What? I've never heard of that organization.
Okay, that's perfect. That's the perfect moment to ask about this. So JCI stands for Junior Chamber International. It's an international organization with branches all around the world, including Cork. And it's aimed to give development opportunities to young people aged 18 to 40. So there is an age limit to become a member of JCI. But of course, people from outside those ages can attend the free events, right? So Mélanie Morisset is the Cork president this year, and she's inviting you to attend the next event that are really available to anyone to attend. So if you want to learn more about becoming a JCI Cork member, you can contact Mélanie at this email address, president@jcicork.ie, or you can visit the website, of course. We are also on social media. And if you're interested in any of these two topics, these are the two events that JCI is hosting in July. So first one is on the 8th of July at 7 p.m. All the details will be on Eventbrite. I don't know, Mélanie, they are there already or if they will be, but it sounds really interesting. So how to rethink your marketing during this time with Muriel Foley, Karina Collins, Stephen Ryan. And another event later this month, 27th of July, a networking event, Go the Social Distance with JCI, and it's with Andrew Whittaker of Co-Culture founder, the networking space. So yeah, I hope I answered a little bit of your, JCI is so much that I think I need another hour to let you know exactly everything that JCI is doing, but there is a business aspect to it, there is a networking aspect to it, professional development and international travels too.
Yeah. That's fantastic. I've never heard of that organization, and I've been in Cork a long time, and I'm in the startup process of my furniture making business, and it seems like
definitely, yeah,
they have something to offer. And
absolutely, get in touch with Mélanie. She's giving in the chat a LinkedIn link if you want to connect with her. And yeah, that's it from me, guys. So if you want to keep the conversation going, if you had any thoughts, feedback, I'm of course welcoming any feedback, honestly. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I think it's the best place, or you can go to the website topofthepile.ie and you can contact me from there too. So I really, really appreciate all of you for being here with me for an hour. I feel way better now. And I really hope you enjoyed it. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fatou.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks a million, Fatou. That was brilliant.
My pleasure.
Thanks a lot, Fatou.
That's great.
That's amazing.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.